Alright. Now hopefully this brings a result. Otherwise, there's another step that will be like this step was, but in another way that won't be advertised either, as I've had enough of video. Right? And I thought I'd talk the last of the patterns of what I've been saying. And I do reactions from feeling and from getting fucked over. Right? So, let's find out what happens next. And at least I'll have Vishnu, Mushu Vishnu with me. Right? As I wouldn't want to get fucked over like Vishnu and get left out something. Right? As I did say, Mushu Vishnu will come back. Right? Future bells. Sound the alarm. Now you gotta watch out for those things that look ahead, don't you? They can propaganda. See, when it comes to propaganda, future looking, they can do the same thing as the news does with information. No? Propaganda that shit. Make it look right, sort of, but not right, but right enough for their perspective. And you got to expect that to happen because it's been around for a long time. And it still continues and it's still around. The light is irritating their demons. What I'm going to do is, when they find the crickets and they all part the mountain, and I've seen how they're breeding and how they like the moisture, and this is the good condition for them, obviously, even the worms here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately make a gap here, so the bits of crap that I blow around goes in. Oh, that made a cricket happy. I heard that. There's it.
Finally, due to the news tonight, a man who lost his father to cancer, finding a way to honor his dad's legacy, tapping into a beloved March Madness tradition to the world of the game. This is the moment of super surprise from one dad to another. The gift of March Madness. For Tim Coffey, it's a tradition that began with his own father. Growing up, they'd watch games, hear brackets, traveling the country to cheer on their teams. Watching the games with my dad was my favorite thing. He let time stop. The family tradition continued into adulthood until his dad passed away from cancer last August. As I watch these games, anytime my phone goes off, it's never gonna be it's never gonna say dad. So to honor his father, this March, he decided to pay it forward his way. The trainer you guys have, that's Dad. Surprising another deserving dad with tickets. Max, what do you think? You're gonna take these boys to the Sweet 16? I heard what he said.
Well, for a minute, and I'll pick you up.
Well, you believe this,
First there must be destruction. Yeah, you chuck one in too, but
Nathan Falvo in regional Victoria. This will make him even angrier than he is already. The Prime Minister today at his media conference actually said this when asked about the opposition leader's call to slash fuel taxes as a short-term cost of living fix.
I don't think there's anyone out there today who bought an electric vehicle who's regretting the decision at this point in time.
What the hell is that about? Thanks, Albo. That'll go down well with average Australians hoping to get away for Easter, or a farmer staring at the possibility of not being able to sow a winter crop or even fertilise it. Out of touch with real Australia, you bet you are. Now, talking about real Australia, let's head to Victoria's northwest in the small community of Robinvale. That's on the mighty Murray River. Now, Robinvale, I go there because it was mentioned, I think not last week, the week before in federal parliament, that it was one of the first communities in the country to have a petrol station with a run out of fuel side. Nathan Falvo runs a convenience store, a farm and a local business in that community. Joins us now. He's warned that everyday Australians don't understand how bad it's about to get. Now, Nathan, welcome. But do you reckon any of those politicians, federal or state, actually understand how bad this is going to get?
It's quite obvious they're not going to understand how bad it's going to get, Steve. It's been 3 weeks. That photo you just put up was 2 Saturdays ago, so it's really been 14 days now. And
make a last
recommendations from myself, from other prominent business leaders, what to do to help us, and they've done nothing.
You think of the other side's conversation.
I think it's so important to talk to someone who's living the experience in real time like you are. Tell me, Nathan, about the sort of conversations you're having with your local community, particularly with farmers, those people employing people in the community.
I'd say, to be honest, Steve, we're one of the fruit bowls for the whole country. Right now, it's harvest time. Right now, the growers have been growing a product for the last 12 months.
Excuses too much.
To this
That's actually a
point
sin.
with a harvest,
Being
send
blind
it out
to the truth.
to the markets,
If you're not
and
working
eventually
nothing out.
hopefully start
You keep
getting
saying something
return
over and over again,
on their
like the
investment
government
over the last 12 months.
how they still got problems from 10 years ago.
I've never seen so
doing
much
all these
stress
things.
and
Because they
anguish.
refuse the truth of what they are. So
The
you see
cost
nothing happen.
of diesel is probably the biggest issue. Supply is
Opposite of
just
what they've done.
starting to stabilise now. Still not at full allocations, but the cost of diesel is just it's ludicrous. These farmers already work on a tight margin the way it is. Put on top of this the cost of diesel, and a lot of these people are questioning, is it even viable to do what they're doing?
I mean, that's so sad, given the hard work that they put in, as you say, providing food for
Well, you see on
the
water
rest of
there,
Australia,
too,
particularly fruit from that region, grapes and other
Right,
things.
this is a similar thing to that.
Are they mentally
You're stuck in
struggling?
a little spot and making use
You know,
of it.
I deal and talk with a lot of people in the community, Steve, and I really put my hand out there for them to have a chat with me if need be, because they're really struggling. And like I said, it's really sad to see that the farmers that feed our nation are at the point where they're questioning, can I continue? And make no mistake, farmers are the most resilient people that you'll ever meet,
Broken down,
and even they're going to break it.
Right, I'll do
Now,
something to
Robinvale,
respect
I mean,
it.
for the rest of our national audience, about as far away from Melbourne as you can get in Victoria. I presume a lot of people are staying local over the Easter next
You've also
weekend, so
got to do things.
you're also going to suffer financially, because I presume, Nathan,
That's
if I'm
not different.
mistaken, that
Right.
a lot of the
In a way,
tourists
this
who would
is
come
not
up to the
different.
Murray for an Easter break
It's a
will
cycle.
be cancelling
Humans
because
do
they simply can't
keep
afford to get
themselves
there.
at bay. It's a virus
Pretty
cycle.
much. There's not many people
Viruses
travelling
attack each other.
out of Robinvale at the moment because it's a harvest period, so everyone
Good,
is
bad
employed.
viruses. Yeah, bad.
I'm actually hoping
And within our
that
mind.
people will still come to the town. It's a
Depends on
big
how it gets
boost
treated
for
with
our
education.
community. We've got one of the best
Physical,
rivers
right?
on the whole Murray River system.
That's all
People come and
works
camp,
out.
fish, and ski.
You want to
And
balance sometimes
honestly,
not,
I
no?
really do
Your body
hope they
can,
come. The town needs it. So I encourage people. Look,
Yeah, that's-
I know the
Like
cost
the
of
life
fuel is
thing,
expensive, but
Well, that
you know,
doesn't
even if
get
it's just
passed
for
on.
your own mental health, get out, live, breathe the fresh air, and come to a good community.
The biggest thing is They
You
always
and I both lived through
usually the ones who need to
Victoria,
rely the
longest
most.
lockdown state in the
It's up
world.
the guts. That's what the devil does.
I've written a column
A little bit
and
like,
I've said on the
Jimmy,
program
can't
that
do
it
like
feels a
dig out
little bit
tunnels
to
or
me,
something.
Nathan,
If
I
you
don't
do
know
that,
if
you've got to give
January
me
here,
800.
I'm just triggered.
Yeah?
It feels like the start of COVID 6 years ago.
They won't stop. They'll just keep playing video games and repeating what
All the
they'll
signs
stuff out
there,
why they need the 100.
and unfortunately, we've lived through it before, and that was stressful enough the way it was. To revisit that again, honestly, Steve, I can't see rural communities, you know, surviving through this if it gets that bad again.
Yeah,
What
couple
frustrates you
birds,
most
brother.
about what you've been hearing from
Yeah,
governments,
birds.
whether they be Canberra or Melbourne?
To get up and
How
get
long have we got
Molly,
tonight, Paul, Steve?
reminders,
I can start off the top right and go all the way through. They've lied
Well,
right
roughly
at the
then.
beginning. They're telling us that it's
That's when I
panic
go through
buying.
the reminder.
And like I said in my early interviews,
What's in it?
there was no panic buying in Rockville. Businesses were going about their normal daily life. And there was no
People
panic buying.
remind people.
Put into perspective, Steve,
That
some of these farmers have got 20,000
Well,
litres
that
of diesel.
comes
Okay? Right now, they've got around 10,000 litres of diesel in them because they can't get their full supply. Okay? So the farmers aren't the ones that are panic buying.
What's the things about
And the government is standing there
Most of the time,
talking to us
they
like
don't
we're
go into
idiots,
much
saying,
warrant.
oh,
War
there's a
sometimes you do.
supply issue because people are
It's
panic
worse than
buying.
this, but that's war, isn't
Steve
it?
and Nathan in the
Attached
city
to
are filling up a
spiritual,
20 litre jerry can.
mentally and
A
physically, isn't it?
20,000 litre tank
All
on
there
these
is.
farmers' farms is the equivalent to 1,000 jerry cans.
People and put them
They
in
want us to
kitchens.
believe that it's the people in the city filling up a couple of 20 litre jerry cans. How many jerry cans in Australia?
No, that's what
If
you
you
do
fill up
with
every
it.
jerry can in
That's
Australia,
pain and misery.
come on, it still should not have any impact.
It makes it sleep at night.
It's crazy stuff, Nathan. You
Crazy
speak so
stuff.
much truth. Good luck to your community, your little community.
Then see the
I had
crazy
a
around, eh?
relative of mine who worked up there as a teacher in the school,
Sometimes
so I know
crazy behind
he
the
loves that community,
collections.
and I know you're a very fine group of people. Thank you, Nathan. Good luck with it.
Well, they believe it's crazy.
I'll try and catch up next week to see how it all goes. Nathan
They
Feldman.
used to believe gay was
Talking
crazy.
common sense. That's what we need.
But time changes that perspective, doesn't it?
Updoc makes healthcare seriously accessible.
A lot of propaganda happens.
You to an experienced
And
doctor within
that's
the
a
hour.
crazy thing that's happening.
Convenient when
It's
you're
all
busy.
that few things that they know about
Updoc
before
partner
they
doctors
create
adhere to
more,
strict
you know?
clinical standards. That means professional, convenient and accessible care whenever you need. Need a prescription? A referral? Or advice? Updoc has you covered. From anywhere. Request a consultation now at updoc.com.au.
So what I call
Baby.
fishing with mates was made for.
I gotta wait for this to dry out. Gotta shift it. See how it goes. Keep moist. You think it'd be still this wet? Sure. Put a stake down a bit closer. Get a few things in there. This doesn't like going automatic. I've noticed the laptop sure does. Certain areas and software, I guess. My phone didn't ages ago. Go automatic, right? Plays onto the next. Picks and chooses, eh?
Okay, let's return to the
Get
fuel
vehicles in
crisis,
it.
and I'm
Hard to
pleased
get used
to
to
say
things.
Nationals leader Matt
All these different
Caravan joins
devices
me now,
set
as
up,
always
so.
on a Thursday.
All
Matt,
want to be
great to
king
see
kind
you.
of thing.
Both
World of all
Joyce
wanna
and
be
Polly
kings.
Hansen are demanding fuel rationing. Do you agree this is needed right now?
Well, Shari, the government says we have enough fuel in this country, and while we have enough fuel in this country, I don't think we need to resort to wartime rationing just yet. What's important, of course, is that we do plan for the worst, but hopefully best always. And this government, unfortunately, I think has not been or has not done that planning to date. It's taken weeks for it to get the detailed information out there about where petrol is unavailable, and that's obviously delayed its ability to get supplies to where it's needed. I'm glad that that is somewhat happening now, but it's very hard for people out there right now. Petrol well over $2.50, diesel at $3. I just don't think the government's taking seriously here the pain that's being inflicted on the Australian people, and it continues to obsess over crazy things like net zero by 2050, which I think whenever the price of petrol is above $2.50, those sort of ideas should be suspended.
So just to clarify, do you think we should be looking at fuel rationing? I mean, there's already reports that some service stations are taking it upon themselves to do that. As I mentioned before, there's one in northern Sydney that's limiting supply to 50 litres per customer.
Well, I think the government should do more here to get the supply of fuel to those businesses. As I said, the government says there's enough fuel in the country. We don't have any reason to believe the different. If there is that fuel in the country, they actually say there's more. They've been saying this week there's more fuel in the country than there was before the crisis. Well, why can't we get the distribution of that fuel to where it's needed? The government does have powers to do this, but in my experience, governments typically don't need to use all the powers they've got. They just simply need to get across the issue, be where the gaps are, and make a few phone calls to the appropriate businesses to get off their backsides and get the fuel flowing. Usually that's enough to get it done. Angus Taylor did that during the AdBlue crisis. I did that when I was Resources Minister during the 2017 gas shortages, and we got those things fixed pretty quickly.
So it does look like this situation will get worse before it gets better, before the war ends. There's a National Cabinet meeting that the Prime Minister has called for Monday. What measures, and you spoke about distribution, but putting distribution aside, if it does get worse, if supply does become a serious issue, what measures do you think he should look at?
Well, look, I do think we have to look at how much is this costing Australians. We've got a situation going into this war where inflation is the highest in the developed world in Australia. As a result of that, our interest rates are also the highest in the developed world, and that has meant that the budgets of Australian families are already stretched and really can't cop any more strain on them. And so, having put us in this vulnerable position entering into this crisis, I think the government should be looking at ways to provide relief to Australians. Obviously, there's a lot of tax that comes from the petrol pump, both in excise and GST. There are ways the government could look at this. So I'd be imploring them to focus on that first. Obviously, the second step there is then keeping the supply of fuel to the country.
So
We
not
have enough now, according to the
touching the excise, but looking at not putting GST on fuel.
No, I think I don't. Look, there's lots of different ways to skin that cat, Shari. The key issue is to provide relief to the Australian people. That's what the government should be looking at doing. There are some issues, I think, with looking at the GST, but look, I want the goal here is to help the Australian people. And the other point here to make is the supply of those boats. And it looks like we're okay for the next few weeks. After that, it's a bit more difficult. The government should be looking to use the exports we have of coal, of gas, and to ensure that the trade, the export of fuel in the other direction is maintained. Because we're in the lucky position that a lot of our gas and coal goes to the same countries to supply us with liquid fuels. So we should be embracing that. Anthony Albanese should be hugging a lump of coal every night before he goes to bed, maybe kissing a vial of gas. You probably don't want to sniff any gas, but do something to genuflect to gas as well, because it's those two products, it's fossil fuels that can see us through this. We're very lucky to be a net energy exporter during an energy crisis. We're just a bit deficient in liquid fuels, so that gap needs to be replaced.
Yeah. Just on the point about giving some relief to drivers or farmers, families who are doing it tough. I mean, I initially supported the idea of taking off the fuel excise. That's what the Morrison government did during the Ukraine war for a 6-month period. But I had an expert on here last night who said that will only increase any form of relief, will only increase the problem, because then you're making fuel more accessible, you're increasing demand, whereas if the prices are higher, then that's actually a deterrent. What do you think about that?
Well, the reason the price of petrol goes very high it's quickly is because the demand is what in economic jargon terms inelastic. Demand doesn't change that much in regards to price. So look, it depends obviously on how much relief you're providing, but
you think there should be
there
some?
is unlikely to be a significant change. Well, I think these things need to be explored because people are doing it really tough. I mean, I've had constituents contact me saying they're spending $400-$500 a week on petrol right now. Families with lots of kids, lots of driving around town for sporting events to school.
Yeah.
It's getting the approach. It's getting to the point where petrol's almost as much as your rent or your mortgage, and that's just unsustainable for people. So that has to be looked at.
Yeah. Just finally, we're looking at a fertiliser crunch as well. Planting season is approaching. Farm groups are warning that we've only got about 6 weeks of supply. Some vegetable growers are down to 3 weeks or less. How serious is this, and are you then worried about the flow-on effect for produce?
I'm even more worried about fertiliser than fuel because there does seem to be real world shortages of this product emerging even more than of petrol. To put that in context, about 20% of the world's oil comes from the Middle East, but a third of the world's urea, or the most important fertiliser, comes from the Middle East. And in Australia, we get 2/3 of our urea from the Middle East. Before net zero, before we went mad with grain schemes, we used to make urea here from natural gas. You need gas to make urea. You need gas to eat food effectively, because without these nitrogen-based fertilisers like urea, you can't grow the kind of food we do here in Australia, and therefore we can't feed Australia. And this is very serious because if farmers miss planting windows, miss the opportunities to put fertiliser on their crops in the months ahead, that's going to be an impact on our food supply for the next 6 months at least, possibly a year, depending on the growing cycles of different crops. Because they don't, that's it. They're out. They won't harvest for that period. And so we're hearing reports of fertiliser prices already doubling at the moment, and just simply an inability to get supply of them. So that needs to be a focus of the government as well. Again, using the leverage we've got of our coal and gas to get what we can for fertiliser, so we can keep our country fed.
Maybe you can give Albanese a gift of coal to take to bed with him, as you suggested. That caravan. Good to see you.
Got plenty of it.
I'm sure you do. Good to see you, as always, on a Thursday.
Snack it! Pack it, stack it, snack it, and try our higher protein range.
Culture Kings isn't just retail. It's an intersection of fashion and culture. From live DJs and slim clubs to exclusive drops and the world's biggest capital. We bring the chaos across 9 different stores and show
That ain't do nothing to that.
Elevate your bed. Shop now. Fast free shipping nationwide.
Oh, perhaps what Bella said, you're actually doing something about it. Because you just don't know in stories until the end. Really, isn't it? So that's what you got to do. That's why you shouldn't commit suicide too early, stuff like that. You might as well, find out something. That's the devil thing too, Claire. Certainly know people that were a bit slow and stuff like that, bullies picked on them and they didn't have much family. This system allows bullies to do that. You hear stories all the time that these people who are a bit slow got used and abused, tricked, manipulated. And that happens because the system can't even protect them. Isn't that sad? I did a clip about it a little while ago. You go in there and see what happens when you can't look after yourself too well. You don't know the system. The system allows them to shit on you.
And then they whinge about that the bad guys got these people because there's nothing else to go to, or they kill themselves. They've got these people to go blow up buildings and do stupid shit. Right? Because the system failed them. They're all as bad as each other. Because they've already got the bug in the system. Right? Charging everyone money. It's like the family. So it's cost you a bucket every time you have a fight. So that's a bully in the system. That's the devil woman or a devil man wanting to pick on each other and make each other go broke and go, if you leave me, I'm going to make your life hard. And guess what? The system will make that happen. In fact, I've got a better wine than you. You better get a good one because I've got a good one. That's going to cost you $30,000. The system protects you. No, it doesn't. Alright? That's a domestic fight. That's kids can't even get out of things if it's real because parents are fighting. And they take everything from each other. And the system helps that, allows that, because they get fed. Right? That's tax and stuff. You know what I mean? Sad. There's no righteousness. And the system allows us to bully each other. More. We're going to take everything from it. And we allow the system to do that to us. Isn't that even sadder? No. So that's why a lot of people who know about this, you don't bring in the system, right? Because the system will just attack you, right? Or make it worse, or make it cost you. And so thus, the system again, screaming, oh, we want people to help us, how come people, they don't want to do that? Because they're going to need lawyers and stuff and get screwed over. Unless they go, oh, hang on, I'll just call the sergeant, you might be able to help you there, right? But that's gambling again too, isn't it? Well, it's all failing. Incidents happens, causes an effect, doesn't it? Sad. The poor's still getting views. Got some bricks here. Some Mars here. System should be ashamed of itself. And it calls itself righteous, so it's just as bad as the bad guys. Saying, we're not being bad, you know what I mean? We're similar. Causing the incident, causing the outcome. That's why you hear about the We the People all the time. Why things change all the time. Because the system gets addicted to being what it is. It's like a power trick. Power tricks. You know, when someone gets a job doing copper, and they go, oh shit, now I'm going to go pick on these dudes I hated. I know they do a little bit of bad, so I'm going to go make sure I hit them. Right? And not just being around and doing what you're doing and copying up people and picking on people, huh? Unless you need to, what you've been told as a group to. Huh? Power trippers. Once it's promoted, and they have good vibes too, it just trickles, it gets deeper and deeper into that virus. That's what time is, that's what you see in history. And then it collapses, and it restarts again. Another form of money, another form of using it. And the devil slowly comes back and tricks. It's human history so far. We haven't succeeded in a long enough one that you know of. Right. We did, got wiped out. What does that mean? Really worth it and stuff like that. You just be happy, you just be more basic. Well, it's such a rush, you know what I mean? Don't just pop on, but, you know, I guess if you're on the clock and you've got to get to work, sometimes you do got to do that, you know. There shouldn't be your life all the time, that's what the devil wants. Constant, never getting out of nothing, right? New product to buy, the old one you can't even use now. Trapping you. Making you think it's cool, that you want that system, you want the next one. But really, to all your other friends, you're not getting a good outcome. Same with the environment. Rush, rush, rush. Where's the balance? It's too slow as well, of course. You've got to find that balance. It's not stressful to you. They come to you very quickly, you know. You've got education, you've got different skills that you need. You got a bolt.
some little toys digging up his yard. Kept them. The coins. Now you have to disturb the grave, they say. I've done all this before. But yeah, you have to bring in the closest to their ancestors and get their opinion of how you disturb the grave. They do that a lot in Egypt, countries like that, where they've got to fix the disturbed grave.
I don't even know how deep she is.
Hey?
I don't even know how deep she is.
Yeah, who is?
Roxy.
Oh, I'm sure she's gone, but well, no, they're going to make it deep enough so I can bury that cave. So I'm going to go about it. Video.
I know.
Just found a spot where we buried last time. Rocks I've got here, right there. Rocks. So we're going to put it in home. Yeah, well, oh, you want to grab? Right, I'll grab it for you. Yeah, better give me mine. Ooh.
So you think Roxy would have been fully broken down, even her bones?
Yeah, well, it's pretty moist here. There's worms.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's not, but there's a high probability that there won't be much. The grave expert yet, Pete, but they say on TV.
Yeah, it's been 8 years now for Roxy.
Yeah, so she should, couple of years. The bone, the thicker the bones, the more gold bones, big bones. So there's lots of worms and stuff. It's good growing on it. Yeah. It'll break down pretty good. I guess that's why killers like to bury in the garden, you know what I mean? Get rid of that.
That's funny. Bella. Bella. Back to you. You can go out. I think the birds just told you again. Whew.
Have to dry all this up a bit.
Ooh.
Before I put it back.
Ooh.
Get wet.
They're already starting to land.
Right?
A pigeon just landed in the oh, another one.
The eagle has landed.
And all the house sparrows are flying past you.
Plumber's crack. I'm going to show that.
One, you ain't no plumber and they ain't much of a crack.
It's starting to look like good dirt. See this? Yeah, it's all like, yeah, it's all very fine kind of thing. It's worm, there's a lot of worms gone through it. Like it's broken down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I want her to break down, but I don't want her bones to break down.
Who else is in that freezer?
Hannibal.
You don't know, I'll check book about that.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I just know that one. That eagle hawk thing, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
No, I think you've already. Just leave it for a minute.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna vacuum this mess. I'll shut this so you don't hear the vacuum sound.
Yeah, immediate.
Yep.
You know what? They made this clip brilliant. So yeah. As they say, don't disturb me while I'm cleaning my room. Right? They can't help themselves. They do not know. You do not speak about it. noisy bandits. They want to be heard but not seen. Oh, here comes Buddy now. Hey, Buddy! We've got 4 on one side and 3 on this. 7 buddies. Hello! There's one of them's in here, he's right here. Just find that. Hey? Confirmation. Yeah. Some would say that's like retirement. Oh, yeah. Because the demon knew, because talk about Bible, talk about what's coming first, huh? And then, Buddy's coming. Hey guys, yeah, feeding out, really done. The devil, look at me, they can't see me. Trying to look at your money. Gotcha. Sleeping night, you fall, it's your own fault. Gotcha. I know. And when you know, then you're not full. If you don't know, you become that fool. Mentions there all the time. Maybe that fool. I've already pulled out the little mice coffins. Like they fell apart a bit, still sort of together. I'm gonna do something on it. Reuse, I'm gonna put things out. Sometimes I'll leave them out in the open. So they can be sick. And if the soul was gone, further down, that should clean it. It's better the back in the certain times. You used to do that. Don't bother anymore. Eventually give up and go, now what are you going to do? Oh, I don't know. You take so much. What else is there, okay? Right. Keep on fighting. You sort of got all the toys and stuff. Yeah. I don't want to go fire. I've already really picked myself up in the fight, you know, eh? That comes in, let me finish the job. But then I didn't, you know? You can't come in and big saying what I do. Yeah, that's it. Well, I really had him, as Bella would say. I need to go. people disturbing my beers. And this time I thought, no, this is coming out here, put it in there. Because they have to, you know, like, that's brings in drones. The problem is that they do not know what they do. It gives you thoughts and ideas, all sorts of ways to talk about it. That's a lot above, right? Just like how occasionally happens, a few incidences and a few things that add up. And it comes in to annoy you. As I've been talking about, there's all sorts of different drones, different ways. To just be annoying. Do what you don't want. So, oh, you don't want disturbance tonight? I'll make sure that you get disturbed. Oh, you want disturbance? I'll make sure you don't really get disturbed. Alright, you want help? Oh, that's that rolls. It's like a spoiled little brat. What happens when you spoil something? God learned that mistake. That's what I can say. Well, God learned all about it. He sacrificed his kid. He got rid of it. He put it here on the planet Earth kind of thing. You know what I mean? He didn't keep it around till it kept joining other planets and stuff. He did it when he's sad and he watches out and goes to different like trying to do kids in jail. But, you know, he done the right. He took his toes the wrong way. And that happened. That's not your fault. Doing the kid and the devil, really? That's the devil in the devil. That's just screwed up because you're using the devil's knowledge, but you didn't get it wrong, but the kid did. Because when it's confused, you just can't school him. That's not same opportunity. Yeah. Like that. Start going out some stuff. That's the biggest sin. Most people are allowing them to get more and more. That's why the Bible teaches not to get married. It teaches you these certain things. Otherwise, you can have chaos. You're not ready. Right? You need to take these steps. Before marriage, take these steps, make sure you love each other. If you don't, you're going to have kids, you're not going to like each other later on, you need to take these steps. Chaos. Right? Don't take those steps to get those problems. And then they're taking you to court, they're taking all your money. Right? Because, obviously, you didn't really love each other. You didn't go through hard times. Before you love something, you should go through hard times with each other. Right? See if you can do it. Things like that. So it just takes time. You learn it when you're younger. Some people can speed things up by knowing things closer. And choosing closer, right? Some can never find what they want on the bird. So I'm not around to what you should some out of want. It's got upset yourself. So you don't have the balance to get too low. In some reds, that's the devil coming in. Make sure everyone's confused. And they're negative. They're talking about negative. Like today. There's no positive reds. You know what I mean? When it comes to my story and my feelings, the bullies and friends, they just think they can intimidate Ryan. Their friends. Come up with their tricks and with the mean him shit. And I guess that's all it's in the end. That's all I was doing, just being me like this. And he comes in, make him fucking bully, right? What we're dealing with. And they run around, make noises and all that kind of shit. There's something happening, right? Happenings means attacking. He comes to dude, he comes to fight, that's the pattern. So until he gets his fight, right, or it dominates the area that it's fighting, that it comes in, it's going to keep going. Right? What are you saying? The egos. That's what happens at school. That's school. They do it for a check or something. Trying to make themselves look. Their ego. Their friends think it's cool, so that's why they do it. Usually, no one thinks it's cool unless they've really lost it. Unless they believe themselves it's cool. That can happen. Like a mental person. Right. But usually it's a friend who's cool. Others believe it's cool. Family members. Then they'll keep going. Until they're made. They ain't run by any righteous rules. They don't change. They repeat it. They'll talk about how you've got to be the same as the other. That's how we've always done it, kind of thing. Right? They use words like that. You see it in the movies too, when they talk to their kids or try and convince people. So you must do it. Words are powerful. Depends on how you use it. How you can prove those words with the actions of killing that beast. Something. Pick it. Covering, yeah. Right now, these got so much. You got to do the boy thing. Right now, it's forcing you to go fight again. You're going to put on fight. It's just an age. This is on fight. Take later. Good. I don't want it to get the outcome now like it wants. I need it tomorrow. Doesn't really bother me. Sorry, I'll talk about that. Another action. Again, the more I'm doing it. you posted, right? And I'm keeping the same outcome. But it was coming in, feeding the boys, coming and go, yeah, see me, look there, yeah, I'm on there, you can right? And I don't want it to. So you've got to obviously stop, don't buy it, don't do it, don't post it, don't talk about it, it's a way of feeding out, and the only way it wins again is just delay shit, slow, you know what I mean? Make everything slow. In the systems everywhere. Still doing it. And it's detected, you know? You're all doing it. In a sense. The leaders and stuff. You know, it'd be nice what they're doing now, and they're forced to. But they don't really want to do it, what we're talking about. That's why they stuff people's feet. Someone gets in good, they shoot them, because you haven't solved the problem. He hasn't sinned by doing all that. And then humans made him sin by letting it do it. To get scared. In a way it wants to do. Trying to fool like this. All not good things. All of above, a little bit of below. You've got to learn that from good too. Good come back on time. Cool. Good man. So if you don't see it, it's teaching shaping friggin' awesome. Have things around and all that kind of stuff. Don't leave it. Because it ain't coming. GPS has. GPS has to you know that it might be doing something. Huh? When you have that, you effective. Then it has all that. It takes all that and uses against you. Okay. Takes your money, causes problems in your life, so it's going to take the money. So let's start for many reasons. Including money reasons. Plenty of ways to do it. Nick does it. It's too easy to go look over there, while I do this, and then it's too late. I'm not worried about it. Not people just making up, some people really want to talk about that. But I've already spoken on this shit before. Sadly, a lot of people can't remember a lot of stuff put together. They're up to sort of things. You've got to sort of give them schematic. Which is what the devil does, and it's so funny about to seem like any different. See things quicker for it. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why she's barking. She must have had a noise.
People over here.
Ah.
Talking.
No one's there.
You know, speaking a different language, it's like, what's that?
Oh, good. Nothing's here.
Jid will say the same thing. You use strange languages. You know, what's that? They'll communicate through barks. You've got to see their perspective, right? When you don't see other people's perspective and feeling, you haven't learnt the basics of being an adult, really. What the Bible would say of righteousness. Sadly, a lot of people don't have that as adults, so they're not righteous adults still, right? You can get educated or study through it or even felt it. You try to understand it. Daddy's got a badge, who cares? chunky, it's so chunky you can carve it. Yeah. See, I call that one the friendly. You let me know. What brings is a friendly sound that you want, I know. Sometimes you can only know yourself. Do some horn revs annoy you than others? So they go, that sounds like shit. And they one goes, yeah, that's just too high pitched, I don't like that. That one, you know, goes, yeah. Right? But they like it, they drive it, buzz, buzz. But you don't. That's a similar thing I'm talking about. To go along with how it's used as well. Anyway, I wouldn't know yet, can't confirm any of that shit for you. Just thought I'd tell you about how I try to understand things with the knowledge I know. Sort of gauge it with yourself and everything. Like now on an animal, right? Well, the animal's doing this action, right? You better look out or attack him or whatever. Keeps on going. Yeah. I don't remember digging this deep. When I buried something. Huh? And I haven't found it. So it wouldn't surprise me, as we got bees on it. But if they did, right, as I was expecting it might happen, right? And then I went to the spiritual realm, right, of what they need. Yeah, hey Frankie. Yeah. And they should just let, as far as I'm concerned, when you get spirits on the right side, they should just let you deal with it. You know what I mean? And they shouldn't have to step in. They disrespect them. What's a meth story, as they would say? That's it. Wrong white or wrong? What's a boy? Ooh. And for treasures, right, what makes people want to take a risk is they'll do it for money. Right? And if you really want things not to be dug up, most probably, you shouldn't bury expensive things. In fact, expensive things can be passed on to be recycled, not left. Because if you leave it, more likely your family will never get to it and they get lost and forgotten. And then it's never used. Until if someone else finally gets it, then it's not recycled in your benefit. So you pick and choose that area. But I wouldn't bury things too expensive. If it's sentimental, no worries, bury it. That's what I do. Right? It's not really worth much for you to be done. Something's made for someone's item. Right? That's sentimental. But burying wealth, that's something the devil does. And you know what? The devil, because it's ego, they want to take it with them and all that kind of stuff. The devil ends up being stolen from, right? And in some ways, if they bury themselves in gold, some would say that they deserve to be robbed. Right? Because in a way they could be right. Right? So if you're robbing something that's just not really valuable and you're just picking it up and you just want to and then go, oh, if you get $5 or something like that, it's sort of disrespecting someone else's things for so little. Right? So you're going to make sure it's worth it. But a lot of people dug up Egyptian stuff and died. So is any wealth worth it? And some things are true and you disrespect it. And you would know, only the person knows most of how much they're disrespecting. You can read their mind kind of thing. Realise how deep it is. Got when it was like it's like a pyramid. And it's sort of coming out. Buried it. Yeah, very. Sorry about this. I'm looking at you very soon. Just about done. Sorry, can I come into the edge?
Here's the bird seed. It's there. They're all waiting.
These brave ones come down. Come on, little babies are raided. You good? Yeah. They know me. You still what's going on?
know what happens when you get dominated too much? You become like that. That's sad, isn't it? Eventually it can go away. But that's what happens. You become so scared of everything. Worried and fall for things and all that kind of stuff when you're in panic, as they say. It's not a good position. But there you go, we've got the cloth here. Whoop. Let's give you a view as well. Everybody. This has got something in it. This might be boxy. If that's true, and we've gone deeper than I thought, then all the stuff in here. Hey babe. Emma. Emma. Yeah. Guess what? I have found no book that I look by the looks. No bones. Unless it's in the pile here, I'm going to look in a minute. But I think I found Roxy. Can you remember? I'm going to put some dirt over in this. I haven't seen the book. I got it out with a scoop, but a big small scoop. Roxy? We're buried. Yep. This looks like Roxy. Right here. Because it goes further this way. Which is what I was talking about before. I said, this is not what I buried. So what I buried, it's been removed maybe. I've seen the mice things there. So I'll have to have a look at it. Well, somehow I pulled it out and not seen it. It could be still that. Right? But I'll talk about beaver because I've had it. But this goes on a bit further. This will be Roxy. I've got a sad story. I feel bad about Roxy. And yeah, only because I didn't do nothing wrong. Only because her last day, I had people around. And I couldn't treat her the way I should have on her last day. She got really sick. She got sick, but it was hot summer too. And she was suffering with gastro. Right? She wanted to be around me. And I said no. Because I had people here. Right? And then that was her last day. She went downhill from that, and I felt bad for saying no. I wanted to say yes to it, but I kept having visitors. It's time I say like 200 while I'm around. It's just, it is when you have things like that. Because I look back, wasn't really their fault. I did say it was sick. You know when you mention about people and you go, look, I've got this happening and that happened. Good if you weren't around too much. And then people are around anyway. And then it becomes more or something like that. You know, I've talked about the patterns a lot. But I certainly will. About things as we all do. She stopped drinking. She's, went down fast. And as they do, I think it was the third or fourth day, stopped drinking. I'm trying to get her to drink and all these things and be with her. I wanted to be outside. And the caravan was sitting here at the time. Right, and, she went under there and then I couldn't get her out and she wasn't looking good or even bad. You know how it goes. It gets worse and worse. The time. I can't remember really exactly what I was doing, what work I was doing.
They're doing something. Just between things. I went for the fruit picking to looking around for something like that. It's the sick moment. I can't quite remember really. Anyway, right into it. Roxy was adopted. She had a good few years with us. Except we can't help when they get sick too much. Don't do too much, can we? We try to know medicines and try to store up medicines like the old days. But now these days we can't even do that. Took us all from us and then goes, you got this money? And that's it. I don't care what that is. We said it's not on the list. It's illegal. You're in trouble. Right? They said they shouldn't even let less get you for it unless you're selling it, kind of thing. You know, they come in and get you just by doing things and keeping it for yourself. It's evil. But that's what happens. Burr. So this one I'm not going to post. Do another quick one to post. But we're going on like the back here.
Bye, buddy. Yeah.
Just a private one. We can talk about it another time. But this will be Roxy.
Lena, is that a tree stump?
Yeah.
I think she was in some sort of wrapping. Hey! It's okay. Stella. You listen to me. No. Stop it. Hey, come here.
She's a big rapping.
Sorry?
She's a big rapping.
All you see is your leg in the camera.
You can put that back up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a bit of dirt on it. Hoo-hoo. Oh, stop it. Stella.
that's what happens. Some people. Oh, who knows? Just saying, you would know. Sometimes, Kirsty, because you know how he was talking about manifesting, right? Because you got to try. Everything's pieced out everywhere. You know how he was talking about manifesting. If you believe you've done it, you'll manifest that. It's coming out, right? That's what nightmares are, like in a dream. It's another way of manifesting. But you do it in this reality too. Yep, in a vein, something's there. And when I dug down, it must have been a shallow grave, because I only put a little bit on top, and then you go a little bit past that foot deep below. Then go down the whole foot, just give yourself in. That's where the bone comes from. Yeah, I feel bad about the tree too. Because it kept, being a danger to the fence and driving on there and this and that. But they didn't want it to keep growing to be a danger to the sides to the. Yeah, but then they'll have to keep cutting it. That was what we talked about. I talked about it with just we should have said, I guess first to get rid of it. And I said at least you can cut right back. But then you'll have to keep doing it, right? And she's like, well, well, I know it keeps doing it. It's trimming it. It's just a weak tree, because got to wash there first. Plan on getting her out. But there you go.
I did ask you that you had your phone.
Things like that, huh?
If they were still there.
I must have missed the book, I tell you. I don't know about that in the file at the back there.
Won't you agree? Like,
Bye, Joe. Slippery. These are not buying still on either, okay, Stella? Right, you want to get a container for us, please?
a container, like what come in, but a container.
Get Millie's container.
Alright. I'm gonna take a towel inside to see it.
And a small little one. So,
Like an ice cream container.
no, just a small container, you know, just for some small.
I don't.
Run up to the third big container, that'll do.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
These are the ones that take the longest to potato. Right. More calcium. They have a few sort of. I'm going to take potato.
Georgie. You have to stay inside now. I might even use that to wrap her in again. No, I think because there should be a fire. I think this is mine. Look, 8 years later, the paint's still there and we didn't get pulled. I'm just gonna hang over. Why are you doing that for? I'm trying to find something else.
Hey?
What are you doing that for? Trying to find something
Top
else.
stuff.
Sorry?
The top stuff, the other thing that we buried.
Oh, yeah.
I talked about.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think about it a little bit more, you might. And you want to get me some Fano again, please?
A little one? Ah. Stay. There's your only containers we have left.
Damn it. Don't know.
Oh, it's like my picture in your mouth.
Yeah. You just look around everywhere else. It's really weird.
Oh,
Stand it out.
taking the fly already.
Yeah, it's like this one. Please. When it's done, I need to take it. Hold this, put that down for a second. Try to move nice and quick. And get ready to do it. So, slow on.
Little girls are now wearing what? I'm about to put this one here.
ones were reset, and that's why I got these ones set up. Suspension, maybe we were too late. So these ones been fine. But I already had suspension then, mate. That seal, huh?
Did you bury him in a bag or something, or just bury it?
No, I just buried it. I videoed it, eh? The book cover. I mean, it's going to be forever lost. In the story, I'll talk about it later. It's not going to be good. They're going to be angry. They're going to do bad things. So you get to look back. In the story, we'll find out. That's what I was thinking. Some people call it a fantasy tape. But I'd say it's like the last one. Things don't get better. Things don't be getting better. And the leaves are out.
Oh, there's just gonna be some dirt to put back on the right.
Finds out. We need to find out what the lives are doing. What's going on, things like that. Things like that. So far, they're all negative. Right? Anyway. Negative with tricks of positive, kind of thing. I know when the tricks are positive, and I know when they continue to be negative. This is a later bomb in 3 months, so the other cameras wouldn't. Then, you can go back 3 months, and that's what happened in the last 3 months. But I'm going to leave it. Where's the spirits, they say? No big deal. I've already had thieves in the story. They're still in the story. They're still around. Okay, off. Just an hour or so. Damn good at that. You really sound like that cleaner. I just had him sort out the nasty day.
Well, technically a volleyball day because I like to play and you play together.
It's still not that. It's not the right one. That's the sun though. So the sun.
Some people pay a lot of money just to keep their freedom from mum.
You want a hot day?
My people will like probably right there. They're in the break. And it's all going to the door. The grass is like, you're drowning me, it's too much water. I'm glad I can take the cold
what's in this?
I don't know. I've forgotten. Got a spare bucket. I'm not sure. No, I don't have a spare bucket. I'll be back in a minute. I'll see if I
Guess
can
that's why the demons are hanging about today.
find.
Huh?
Okay.
Is she gonna know? Did we pick it? No, that's us, Sam. You know what I mean? That's what the demon's done in history plenty of times. And it does repeat. Repeats and shows what it's best at. When it's not cool, it goes to sleep. And it comes back to sleep. Think it's cool being a teenager. Kind of thing. Bella, they did talk about that they like to get people to do all the work for them. So I guess they wanted a snake cover or something. No? Who knows? There's lots of ways you can go how they think. But I believe they just get us themselves.
Alright, I found a bucket.
At least they show their mirror. What kind of creatures they are. Yes, they're upset that I spoke the truth. Oh, pat and back. Tick, 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 tick. That's his game. Since he's come to Wodonga, what else has come to Wodonga? No? I think the cops are onto it. They just take ages to do their fucking job. They're in the system, aren't they? They just have guarantees and all this bullshit. And they're not in the field enough. They're going to go home to their kids and shit. They're not in it enough, huh? They fail a lot. They don't have enough that he's in it undercover. They were talking about it earlier. Here or something. We've got to start from the top. I mean, honestly, all this bullshit's going on. It builds up. Right? We've got to keep coming. We've got to get the stuff. Hey, buddy. Hey. Yeah. God, they got to get it to stop, huh? They got to stop. Step on it. Nothing too serious, but really serious. Everybody's not know how to do it.
Keeping this rock.
You know, doesn't look there. Nothing big, coming out. jellyfish coming. That's a that's reaching a lot properly. Got the grind up same. All the orange grind up white. Oh, isn't it?
Almost look like a bowl of cream.
And then you get a whole heap of them. And you got, the bone is white.
The front door, the front looks like a room. I moved the tablet. I was like, that. Oh, the rose bush just caught me. Chili, chili, chili. Maybe I'll get a roll of melon ants, but it'll be expensive.
In the first pile, up there, well, I got up there. So you should count. I can give you the book and dictionary, and then they're gone. Cover, I mean.
I'm sure you didn't bury it up further. Or that far.
Where's that? Do that, no?
You're looking everywhere for the video.
Where's that? Go back in the barrier, so yeah, like that. They're all off, that's why. And they'll be on hard drive, too. Where's that? You know what I mean to that? That's it. Where's that?
You know, funny, I would really play with muddy skin. This is better. I'm doing it. This is better. I'm doing it on 37. This is even better. I'm doing it on 37. That's just a bit of concrete. You're throwing that out.
It's just normal concrete, yeah. It's just normal concrete.
It's like a nice rock. I'd rather do 13 the gemstone. Gold.
Rare areas, a lot of it's been dug up before, but not been looked at. Sometimes they can get gold stuff that's really dug up and sold again. bush in the jungle and dig up there ground. That's where you find diamonds. Certainly some of the areas.
Come on, Kitty. Kitty. Ah. I know, I haven't even done her food. But she won't come down anyway while I'm leaving.
Put the container down, go do a food.
It's not going to be cooking before it's dark.
No, let's go do it. She might be around. Just go do it. And then come back.
I'll put this here.
Get up, babe.
I'm all muddy. Oh, baby. You get all muddy when you come outside. I'm getting all muddy down there. Yeah, I'm getting muddy.
We've definitely got a thing with snakes. Let's talk about that. I guess it's the snake, right? Looks like we planted it.
Hang on, I got to tell well.
Whoever knows the snake, they should know what's happening to Australia. The snake.
No one's here, baby.
And there's the snake. I bet you they would have stole it, Isabella. Isabella goes, she says things that make people, if they get the wrong way, because that's what she's usually speaking to me. If they get it the wrong way, it goes totally the wrong way. Like they're not totally wrong. Definitely the other people putting their opinions. Where they believe they need to steal the snake back to get their power back or something because they dumped it. Right? That wouldn't be true. Actually, just be more what they are as thieves. Yeah? And they just got karma. They come up with that. They like it. What done to them? It's snake. Have you noticed it was the snake thing they stole? Now it's the snake thing again. Right? And we found a snake when the bullying started. Right? On a path that we were going through already. We were going to Matches a few times, remember? Right? And you see back, it's easily planted, right? I think they want to do snake back. And they talk about, they get other people to do the work and set up people and make someone else look like the snake and all that kind of stuff. Doing what I'm doing, man. But anyway, hey, what's the recording up to? 2 hours?
Two hours and 21 minutes.
Then they got the snake now prancing around. It all relates to snake. Yeah, the green, see, that I talked about that, like tapping a piece of green.
That was the night we were talking about.
These two are bitches, there you go.
And then I went down to bed and then I had a dream about trying to find a little baby
Little baby
snake
snake, yeah.
egg. And I hatched and talk to the baby. I had a snake dream. So we go, what the hell, babe?
This is up there, man.
Across the door, bird. There wasn't no water around that area. So what the hell is she doing?
Let's think about things in under attack. More likely to him not.
You're getting sprayed in the face with mud, honey.
Yeah, honey. Playing in the mud. Hey, that's when you got to have enough for a while. This chili of it, and that's when it makes it feel better when you go outside. Got some. This one's more of a dirt. Like on a duck. Yep, you see that's the way in it. Keep getting in the jungle, it's like black mud. But once you got through it, all of a sudden you start seeing it. Nice shiny rock. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things inside in it. Change, that's what you get when you get on April. This is all got a bit. Good, man. Stop, man.
Already having it.
They got so much wrong because they can't even get the basics right, this group, about me having 65 roasters, things like that. They can't get that right. You can imagine what they're thinking. How much they got things wrong. You want to be such a These shredders have got to do 100 fuck ups to get one put something right. You know, eh? I've got to fuck up 100 times and I may be right once. Instead of being right 90% and fuck up 10. Fuck up 90. Get 10%.
Put over the rock and just keep it quiet. Go on now.
I reckon someone's going to be pretty confused when they call you a liar and yet all they do is lie. You're a hell of a confused.
Spray on my body, but I never my face too much.
Do like it. You got sell it. Yeah. Something you got in common. Sprays everything with control. First one.
Yeah. I'm down to ankles deep. Where'd the bricks come from?
That was marked out where I had stuff in there. And I think I put on top. Thanks. Put off there, but I don't think it's going to work. So they also make these take on this as well. Don't talk about this.
Oh, I don't need to put any moisture on my face. Face
see a point in that, but it's not about just getting them on to the certain length, right? Right? Nine out of 12 things have a myth to it, a story to it, but it's not exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like spent, you're not being nice, it's like still clean. That's not different. I can do other music too for that. So, you've got to have them, like, there must be a new creature for that, we didn't have more moles around. Right? Tip, 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 tip. Some things you go, it must be new, but this doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know that. That is the answer of even that, you know, what does it make? Who gives it rules? The guy goes it rules. That's all the one got down there in the bucket. Can't talk, man. That hadn't been used when I was setting up ages ago, put the controls on. Whenever I had something around.
Oh!
It's brand new, isn't it? Alright, it's in circle.
Yeah, I think so. It's all flooded all the way down to the...
Yeah. He said I had a drainage spot to go to. So. Same thing, yeah, drops it too. Say something somehow. Alright. Now when such things are happening, feelings and shit and stuff. story gets even deeper now because my feelings and retaliation. And I was sort of wondering what that was. Now I know. They stole Vishnu. Mushu Vishnu. Yeah, talking about putting out bait and all that kind of stuff. Been doing it many different ways. Right. And it's not bait either. I actually put it out for myself. It's actually not bait, but it's things that I know that they'll take, right? And I talked about it, made sure what's going to happen here, had a storyline about what's happening around, what they want. They wanted a fight. I guess stealing things would create a fight, doesn't it? Right? Definitely if you stole through the spiritual area, you may cause a spiritual fight, right? But anyway, there you go. And I'll just do a little short clip now about what I just said, pretty much. That it has been stolen. See you later.